record myself as well and just welcome everyone here on a Sunday afternoon. I appreciate your being here. My name is Holly Million, and I am a professional shaman. That's not what I expected to be saying earlier in my life, but it is what happened. In addition, I'm also an artist. I'm a professional artist. My art primarily is filmmaking, and I enjoyed a very long career, 25 years making films, mostly documentary films. I was a producer and a director, and I raised money for films. I'm still an artist through and through. I have a home in Oakland, California. I've been converting into a micro farm for the last 21 years. Common, ordinary suburban house in Oakland, but it's turned into a piece of art itself. The land is a herbal farm. I have chickens, all kinds of native plants, drought-tolerant plants, solar panels, gray water systems. It's very ecological. And the house itself is also a piece of art. Every room is painted, the ceilings are painted, the walls are painted, all different colors. It's full of art. Some of the stuff I've made myself. But what I'm mostly doing right now, currently, is my professional shamanic work. And a shaman is a traditional healer. So I'm a modern person, I'm a white Western woman, but I am a shaman. And I use the word because it's the best description for what I am. And I'm highly initiated, and I'm also a shamanic adept. And I have worked with shamanic teachers who are professionals who've worked for decades. And they've said, you're a shamanic adept. I was like, I'm not sure I want to be a shamanic adept. It's not really what I expected. But I have abilities, and I've had them since I was a little girl. When I was very, very small, I lived in a very unsafe household. My family of origin had a lot of issues. My parents suffered with alcoholism and mental health issues. And I was a super intuitive. I was a super intuitive and visionary little girl. I could see dead people. The house was haunted. I knew that. I saw them. I felt them. I encountered them. But I couldn't tell my parents. They were not receptive whatsoever to hearing any of these things. So I kept it to myself. So I learned to shut myself way, way down. But I was a gifted child. I was very smart. I learned fast. I learned how to adapt. So I would show one face to the world, and then I would keep the secret life to myself. And I went on to a lot of success in the material world. So I was a producer and a director of films. I also was a nonprofit executive director for organizations all over the country, all kinds of fields, even international organizations. And I could manage people. I was really comfortable with negotiations and contracts and all of that. However, I harbored a deep secret, which was I'm psychic. I'm intuitive, and I know things that I feel uncomfortable sharing. And when I did open up and share, sometimes it was with the wrong people, and I would not get a good reception. I've actually been attacked, emotionally attacked by people who found it really uncomfortable to learn that I was around in their midst and that I did this sort of work. So I learned at a certain point when I turned 50 years old that I couldn't hide it anymore. I was tired of living a split life, and I decided that it was time for me to come out. And it was really like a gay person coming out. I came out, I told my mother. She did not receive it well. My Catholic mother did not receive that well. But what I had happened was, as I became my authentic self, I started working professionally, doing shamanic work. I started to have clients. I had people come to me for help. And what I witnessed over and over again that gave me joy and that told me I was on the right path, thank you, was that I could witness those clients getting unstuck. So I was helping people to get unstuck faster than I did, and that's what it was all about for me. So that's what I do now. So now what I do in my work is I do one-on-one shamanic healing work. I have clients all over the country. I do work on the phone and in person at my studio, which is in a magical garden. And I love my work, but I also look at what's going on in the world, right? Anybody else here feeling a little overwhelmed by the news? Yeah, I see hands going up. I feel my heart sink when I look at the news. I've actually had to insulate myself a little bit from the news. Is there anybody else like taking a news diet every now and then? Yes, of course. We live here and we have to protect ourselves. And so the world is very, very stuck. And I'm asking, well, how did this happen? Why is the world so stuck? Why do we keep repeating the patterns? I am 61 years old. Why am I seeing another war in the Middle East? I remember as a child, a little tiny child, seeing war in the Middle East. Why is this cycle repeating? And what I discovered was that the world is stuck because the individuals that make up the collective are stuck. The collective is a reflection of individuals. And I very quickly learned that if we want the world to get unstuck, that we're going to have to unstick ourselves. So I have some good news for you. And the news is that you are the medicine that the world needs. You personally are the medicine. You and you and you and you and me, you are the medicine. And I don't know how that makes you feel. Do you feel a little afraid hearing that? Do you feel unsure hearing that? I'm looking at your faces, maybe not so sure.
Uplifted.
You do feel uplifted? Good, good. That is my message. My message is that if each of us individually gets unstuck and begins to show our authentic self in the world, that is the solution. And it's happening. It's happening right now as we speak. We're seeing more and more people that are seeking healing, that are exploring their spirituality, that are attending fairs like this one, that are going into therapy and are trying new modalities. So shamanic work may be new to you, but there are many modalities. There's people are doing this now. So I had a dream 2 days ago, and I'm kind of a power dreamer. Is there anybody else here that's pretty good at dreaming? Like you have vivid dreams or cinematic dreams? Yes, because you're all intuitives, probably. You're very intuitive. So let me tell you my dream. Would you like to hear this?
Yes.
Okay. It was kind of a prophetic dream. And when I go to bed at night and I put my head on the pillow, I set an intention and I speak to my guides that I work with, my spirit guides that I've come to know well, that work with me shamanically. And I said, tonight I really want to sleep well, and I would like to have a message dream. I need guidance. What should I be doing next on my path? What can I do to help this world that's suffering? And so I went to sleep, and then during the night, I had one of those dreams. You know the kind, hyper real, so much detail. It could have been a real place that I was in. And I was walking down a street in a neighborhood I'd never seen. I see one house, looks like an old Victorian, and it's falling apart, total decay. I can see the rot in the roof and around the walls, and I felt like this building could fall down at any moment. I do not want to be near here. So I kept going, and I come to a different house that was really attractive. It had a beautiful green color. It looked like somebody had been repairing it, fixing it up, remodeling it. And so I stopped to look at the house, and a young man comes out. He's about to leave in his car, and he sees me, and we start talking. And the next thing I know, I'm inside of this building. And I see that it's a reception desk inside, like you would see in an academic building or a hotel. And I'm standing there and I look, and the back wall is one giant picture window, one big piece of glass, and through it I see what looks like a college. There are green lawns, beautifully manicured. There are paths going through the area. There are big oak trees, and there are beautiful buildings that I instantly know are college instructional buildings. So I asked him, is that a college? And he says, absolutely. I said, well, what's the name of it? And he said something really strange and very quick, and it sounded like a foreign language. So I said, could you please repeat that? And distinctly, I heard him say the words, Shleel de la Monde. So Shleel, I saw it spelled out in my mind while the dream was happening, is S-C-H-L-I-E-L, Shleel. I thought, well, I've taken German, it could be German, I don't recognize that. De la Monde is of the world. I know that's French. So I look up Shleel, and what did I discover? I don't think anybody here knows what that is, do you? It's a Hebrew word.
Sounds Yiddish.
It's like Yiddish, yeah. It's an angel name, and that name means healing. So the name of the school was Healing of the World, Shleel de la Monde, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty amazing. And I got from that also that I was to be a teacher about that healing, and that it was to help people see how they could be part of it. So that was the dream that I had that I wanted to share. And that's the kind of thing you're going to get messages from your unconscious mind. They're going to give you the messages. So I do believe in the healing of the world. And I also believe that when you free yourself, you're freeing the whole collective. Have you ever been overwhelmed looking at things saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How can we ever solve this? I'm just one person, right? I hear people say that a lot. A lot of people, my friends, my relations, some of my clients, they're really overwhelmed. And I said, well, you just have to clean up your part of it. So here's the collective. It's a big thing. And you're over here and you're this little piece. You just have to clean up that part. You don't even really have to worry too much about the rest. It's like creating your own spiritual defensible space. So we're here in Northern California, and I know you all know about defensible space, right? That's where you clear your land around your house so that it's safe in a wildfire. You make sure that the brush is cleared. You may not live in a wildfire zone. I happen to live in a wildfire zone, so I'm very familiar. You have to clear any dead branches, any tree limbs, weeds, anything flammable, you clear it. And it's supposed to be 100 feet from your house. So what I'm talking about, and I say to people, is you just have to clear the defensible space of your own soul. You have to just get clear and free, and then you're already improving the collective. It's already a little bit lighter. It's already a little bit better. And I'm sure you've heard Martin Luther King's quote where he said, no one is free until everyone is free, right? That was his quote. And I wholeheartedly agree. But I also know that it's very important to realize that when one person gets free, everyone else is a little closer to being free. So it's really important what you're doing personally, and that's why you're the medicine, is you can make a difference. Every person you touch will see it. I asked my guides a couple of weeks ago, I talked to them a lot, but I felt compelled to ask a question. I said, looking at all of this, feeling all the initiations I've been through, the recent years have been very trying. I can tell I'm being upgraded. My energy is being asked to go up. I'm ascending. It's difficult. It's not fun always. It's hard sometimes. I said, what is the meaning of all of this? And instantly, because they do give me responses pretty instantaneously, I hear in my right ear, the mission is to liberate the soul from all constraints and to reveal a radiant soul. And I was like, whoa, okay, that was pretty clear. That's pretty direct. And it's simple, but it takes commitment, and it can be more difficult than it appears. But that's the goal. Free your soul from any constraints. That's all you're asked to do. Everything else is just a vehicle for that. So I'm simplifying it. That's what I've learned. I'll pause in a minute. I want to hear your insights and input, and we're going to pause for questions in just a second, but I want to just make sure I share some of these things with you. There's another important thing that I want to share. Is there anybody here who's into astrology? Yes, you're into astrology. So do you know March 14th to 17th, there's something important. An astrological transit is happening. Do you know what it is?
I read about it late last month.
You read about it? Is it?
Yes.
It's Mercury.
It's Mercury.
Yes.
It is a retrograde. There's also Uranus.
Yes, I'm sure that Uranus is involved,
And
but there's Mars,
yes.
and there's the North Nodes.
Yes.
Have you heard this one?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a very important one. If you're not into astrology, I'll explain. This really is, the bigger energies are helping you right now to get on further with your mission. This is perfect timing. It's been hard. There have been challenges. Now it's going to go forward. This is like go time, energetically. We're in the portal. Today's the 15th of March. It started yesterday. Mercury conjunct Mars and the North Nodes. The North Nodes are sometimes called the North Nodes of Destiny. And it's not a physical body. It's a place on the ecliptic, basically on the Earth's orbit where the moon's orbit hits it. It's a place in the sky that doesn't have any physical existence, but it has an influence. There's also a South Node. The North Node is about your future and your destiny and your purpose, why you're here. So when Mercury and Mars are conjunct, I call it a soul jailbreak. It's like time to throw off the chains. You might be feeling it. I look forward to hearing what people are going to share. Are you feeling it? And it's also going to be a collective jailbreak. It's what Joseph Campbell had called the hero's journey. You get the call to adventure. And usually a hero is going to hesitate. Like, what, me? What, I'm the medicine? What, I'm supposed to do something? I'm supposed to leave my comfort and I'm supposed to go out into the unknown and find something new? I don't want to go. That's usually the reaction. I've been feeling that myself. I've been feeling that about coming out in public and speaking. I've been feeling that about sharing what I do. But I now know it's time. We can't afford to sit and wait. You see what's happening. We have to disrupt it. And we disrupt it by being ourselves, our pure selves. And the mantra of this time that those planets, this conjunction is saying, is if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? So living as your authentic self and doing what you came here to do, it's an invitation. Life should get ever sweeter. It should be more joyful, and you're going to help more. So I have to ask. First time I asked, I said, you're the medicine. I wasn't sure how you were feeling. Let me ask you now, are you ready to answer the call to adventure?
Finally, yes.
Yes, okay, I'm hearing some yeses, maybe yes nods. Okay, good. And are you ready to surf these energetic waves and leave the shore for the unknown? Okay, I see some hesitant nods. Yeah, it's going to be okay. We'll have flotation device. And are you ready to transform yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I have a feeling if you're here at the SoulSearch Enlightenment Expo that you already are on that journey. So this is going to come easily to you. So let's do it.
We were told that the past few months was our time to rest.
Yes.
Because we had work to do.
Yes, so your name?
Janice?
Janice says that she heard and was told by messages that the last month, 6 months, or even a year maybe, was our time to rest, quote, because we had work to do, right?
Yes.
Did anybody else have that message? Did you feel like last year was sort of like like kind of a resting in place kind of year? Maybe couldn't feel like you had, things were moving, maybe not. That was a rest year. Now it's a reset. This is the year of incubation. So you're going to leave the shore, you're going to answer your hero's journey call, and you're going to see what happens. And likely when you do, because this is what happens in the hero's journey, the universe comes to meet you. The universe is looking for your intention. It's looking for your commitment. What do you say you want? Can you say it clearly? And so that's what the universe is looking for. So it will happen. We have to have faith. So I'm going to get into, in just a second, fundamental shamanic techniques that I use. They're very fundamental. You probably do a lot of these already. I'm going to go through them to share them with you as an aid for things you can do while this is happening. But I want to stop for just a minute because I've been talking for a while and just see if anybody has any insights or any questions or things you're now coming up for you. Anybody?
Well, I know for myself, I've been focusing on my health.
Janice says she's focusing on her health.
Yes.
Yes, and so you're taking better care of yourself, your health?
I always take good care of myself, but I have been forced at this time to really make a point to know that my health is changing for the better.
Okay, so more mindful. Janice is saying she's had to make the point of knowing that her health is changing for the better now. Like it's a more mindful approach to health.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I also have been getting that message. Take better care of yourself physically, sleep better, eat better. Anybody else here? You also doing self-care? Tell me yes, that's very core. I'm going to get into it in just a second. So let's talk about these things. The things that I'm about to share are 8 fundamental things that I do that are shamanic in nature, but they're also very common things you may do. Some of them may be new. And I would advise, if you don't do these, to start trying them now, because we need to get through this portal. And if we do, it will get easier for you. So this is an aid. Like, let's go. Let's not resist. So this will help you harness the energy of the moment and go beyond. And this self-transformation is strenuous. Welcome. Good to have you. So the first one is a regular spiritual practice. Everybody really needs one now. That could be going to church, but it could be a solitary practice. A lot of people are doing solitary spiritual practices now. So shamanism is now my religion, basically. Shamans don't have churches. They work independently. I have a direct connection with the source. That's my direct relationship with God. And I don't need a priest or a priestess. I feel myself freer and better served that way. You may want to be with someone who is a skilled intermediary. Maybe you like to meditate or pray. Some people like to chant. Singing can be a spiritual practice. Having rituals. A lot of practitioners of Wicca will do ritual practices to ground themselves and to embody their spiritual prayers. Okay, so there's lots of ways to do that. So if you're here at a psychic and healing exposition, I'm going to assume that you do have a spiritual practice. But I tell my clients that I work with and also the shamanic apprentices that I have that they have to up their game, and it needs to be a daily thing, almost minute by minute, a total commitment, like you're aligned with your faith, and that's going to make it so much easier for you. The second one is spiritual hygiene, and it really is like brushing your teeth, but it's for your energy. It's your mind, body, heart, spirit, soul, keeping it clean and not interfered with. Oh my God, I'm a professional. I do the shamanic spiritual hygiene process every single day, sometimes more than once a day, and I still find it difficult. The energies are so dirty and chaotic around us, heavy, dense, and some of that's deliberate. There's a lot of stuff being put out that's designed to make us afraid or divide us. And so whatever's coming, you have to create some barrier, and you have to check yourself. Am I absorbing it? Is it clenched in my body somewhere? So in addition to the shamanic practice. There are other things people do. You can take a bath with salts. You can use crystals to clear yourself. You can use plants to clear yourself. Some people just brush their bodies of anything like that's attached to them. I also recommend calling in protection. So if you have allies that you work with, or you just call upon God or angels, please protect me. My clients have been asking for help to up their protection right now, more shielding, more cloaking. So whatever you've got to do that. By the way, I do 2 free weekly live shamanic energy clearings on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And at the end, I'm going to give you all a bunch of gifts, 7 gifts, including some herbal medicine that I've made. And on the flyer will be information about how to join the live clearing. A lot of people come, it's just a pit stop, an easy way to get clear. The third thing is harness your intentions. So you probably have heard, intention is everything. What is my plan? What do I intend? It sounds very superficial. We throw around the word intention in this culture really as a superficial thing, but in my practice as a professional shaman, it's actually a codified practice. It's part of the core framework. We do awareness, intention, invocation, and action is the framework. So the intention is where you say you wake up in the morning, you set an intention for the day. My intention is that I stay focused on my top priorities today, or my intention is that I don't forget to exercise today. I want to feel good. My intention is that I stay out of conflict today. Whatever it is, set an intention. Those will be your guardrails. Mentioned earlier about how when I'm going to bed, I set an intention. I want to have dreams tonight. I want to sleep really well tonight. I want to remember my dreams when I wake up. So the more specific you are with your intentions, the more likely you are to get what you really want. I want to be a millionaire someday. Okay, that's great. Why? What are you going to be doing? Be specific. I want to live my dream. I want to live here. I want to do this. Number 4, unleash your NI, your natural intelligence. So this is your intuition. Are there any super intuitives here in the room? People that, I knew Janice was, I knew you're definitely a super intuitive. Are you? They say you are. They must be right. They must be seeing something. So your intuition is a superpower. And right now that's what you need to cut through the din of the superficial chatter of lies and fake information. You use your intuition. And so that might be your inner guidance, your clear seeing, your clear hearing, knowing, feeling, your gut instincts, your body wisdom, and also acknowledging your intuitive gifts. So they say, but do you say, I know I have intuition. I want it to come forward so that it's more of an ally for me. This is what I need now. So you can develop it by intention, and you can develop it by going into that receptive frame of mind, saying, I want to hear what's going on, quieting your mind, calming yourself down, being still. You're welcome to come on in. We're having a good time. Come on in. Number 5, your artistic and creative expression. So I am a shaman, but I'm also an artist. I'm an artist into my core. This has to do with my super intuitive abilities. I'm a channel for creative energy. I don't have to try. I let it come through. And art is a shamanic gateway. That's one doorway into the shamanic world. And you can get there by any means, by painting, drawing, dancing, singing, moving your body, making films, doing crafts, crochet, inventing something, drafting something, sketching. And when you open your core creative channels, you're automatically going to open your core spiritual channels. They're the same thing, pretty much. And what you are going to create is going to contain messages and guidance every step of the way. What you are inspired. So inspire comes from the words for filled with the Holy Spirit. It descends into you and you light up with an insight and you bring it forth. It truly is a magical expression. That is the message. You're getting messages and your soul knows the way. I say that as a mantra all the time. When I'm lost or feel confused, your soul knows the way. Number 6. This is one that is probably the least common, but many people do it. It's the core shamanic thing is working with spirit allies. The 2 core things shamans do are to enter into an altered state of consciousness through shamanic journey and to work with spirit allies. And they bridge the material and the spiritual world. But spirit allies are everything. My teachers taught me, don't do all the efforting yourself. Don't lift the heavy things yourself. Ask your guides and your spirit allies to do the hard work. They're better equipped for that. So I now ask them all the time for help. They know things I don't know. They can see things I can't see. Welcome, come on in. You are welcome here. So some of the allies I have multiple human guides. They were human at one point. One of them is a saint. Saint Jerome is my main guide. My shamanic teacher helped me to connect with him. And I'm absolutely sure it's Saint Jerome. And then there are others. And I do hear them. It took a long time because I'm more visual. I'm very gifted visually. I am claircognizant, meaning I get downloads instantly. And I'm pretty weak on hearing, but over time I have developed that. I hear them speak to me through the right side of my head, like inside. I hear their voices. So there's an instant channel, but it wasn't always there. I had to develop it over many years of practice. Some of you may already have that ability. I also work with angels and ascended masters. I also have power animals. In the traditional shamanic cultures, the shaman usually has at least one power animal. That's an animal in spirit that works with them. I have many animals, but the 2 core ones are a lion and a tiger. They've actually protected me during my shamanic work. I saw them yesterday. They came during a prayer that I was doing. They're very present. You can also, if that does not resonate for you, you might just connect with your higher self, that version of you that's lived lifetimes, that has more awareness. But working directly with the spirit allies means you're not alone. You have eyes and ears at a higher level, and guidance can come through. Number 7, develop your dream power. So we were talking earlier about I'm a super dreamer. I have vivid dreams that are like movies. I'm also a filmmaker, so it kind of makes sense. Maybe that's where it came from. But most of us dream. All of us sleep, and most of us who sleep dream, unless you have some maybe sleep apnea or a disorder. You don't dream very much. A lot of people don't remember their dreams if they haven't slept deeply. But you can develop your abilities. Like I said, setting an intention before you go to bed. Say, I want to remember my dreams. Keeping a dream journal next to your bed. Writing your dreams down. Now I've learned to keep my phone next to my bed. When I have a dream, like the one I had that I told you about, the Schleel de la Mon dream, I reach, even before I lift my head, I reach for the phone and voice dictate a description of what happened. So that I can remember. Otherwise, I would never remember. So you can do that sort of thing. You can also develop your dream power by meditation practices you do in the waking world. Visual meditation. I actually teach a class on visual meditation forms. Everything from daydreaming and reverie and imagination and fantasy, all the way through guided visualization, Carl Jung's active imagination practice, and shamanic journey work, which is what I do professionally. is entering into like a waking dream, a lucid waking dream, where you're seeing and interacting and receiving guidance. You can develop those things in the waking world by desiring it. So that's the one that most people haven't done, but you can do. And the last one we talked about earlier when Janice was saying about self-care. That was a perfect example. The last thing is to practice physical embodiment and grounding. Right now the energies are very volatile. You can even see it in the weather. One day it'll be 47 degrees. The next day it'll be 77 degrees. What is going on? East Coast, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I decided to look at their weather today, just curious. It's 71 today. Tomorrow it will be 27. So what is going on? Volatile. That's just the weather. That's also occurring at other layers. That's occurring in the astrology. Yes, Janice?
I'm originally from Richmond Heights, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And so I have family that live in Mentor, and so I check over here too, and I've been seeing the exact same thing.
Yeah, Janice is from Ohio, and she said she's also been checking the weather and seeing it's exactly the same thing.
In Minnesota, and it's been below zero.
Yeah, and in Minnesota.
78 degrees.
Yeah.
2 days later.
So it's jarring, and it creates anxiety. You don't have control over the weather. We do not control these things. The same thing is happening at greater levels, the cosmological levels. Astrological events that haven't happened for 6,000 years are happening right now. And not just one, multiple things. Everything's changing sign. These are influences. We don't think about them, but they're influencing us. So we need to get into our bodies. And if you've experienced trauma like I did early, and I've worked my whole life undoing my trauma, is that you know how hard it is to be in the body, because that's where the trauma is stored, and so it can be scary to go back there, and we tend to want to dissociate from our bodies. But as you're healing and you're clearing, you learn to come back into your body, and you discover that is the safest place to be after all. So when I work with my clients or I work with my apprentices, I am training them how to do that, how to return into their body and the inner space, not just the physical structures, but their energy structures. And there's an inner sanctuary we create and visit. It can take any form. For me, it originally was an apartment in New York City. I don't know why. It was a high-rise apartment, like a studio apartment. That became my safe place I would go to. Over time, it became this beautiful old wood cabin in the forest. That was my new safe space. Now I have different spaces. Some people, it's a grove in a beautiful forest. Other people, it might be a cave. But there's an inner sanctuary you can create. That becomes your go-to place, like you can be safe. You can also, all traditions have work with the breath. If you connect with your breath and your heart. I did work with a group of patients at a mental health facility in New York who were schizophrenic and who had trouble and discomfort being in their bodies. And I taught them some shamanic techniques to be in their bodies. And this is how they were able to do it. We went out and hugged trees. They connected with their heartbeat. They did light physical exercise. So those are the 8 things. I know I went through this very quickly and we haven't had any time for questions yet. I'm going to just say my conclusion and then we're going to stop for any questions. But I also have gifts. We may have to do it in the hall. I'll talk about that in just a second. Don't leave without your gifts. I brought herbal medicines that I made, and I'm going to give you 6 other things. They're on a flyer. There's discounts for things that I do. There's a free 15-minute call if you want to ask me any questions. There's a couple classes that I'm doing. You would also get a discount for that. So I'll be handing those out. It's the yellow sheet up here. In fact, I'm going to hand that out right now. And I'm also going to send around this clipboard before I forget. If you sign up on my email list, I will be doing a drawing this evening, and somebody here is going to get a free 30-minute shamanic energy clearing with me by phone for free. So make sure you sign up, and I'll send you some other things that are on the flyer. But let me just wrap, because I can't believe it, but the time has gone so fast. I want to just say that your unique talents and gifts must come forward now. It's really urgent now. What we're seeing is the world is falling apart. When that happens, you have to come out of hiding. So there's only one of you, and that is your superpower. So please share your light. Please remove the constraints from your soul. Please show your radiant self. The stars are aligned to support your forward motion. So dare to be fully embodied and inspirited by removing everything that has kept you stuck. And that self-transformation is going to help you become your new self. And your new self will help to create the new world. And I'm just delighted to meet you and have you here. Are there any questions or insights about anything I shared very quickly here today? Yes, sir. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex.
When you talk about astrology, I reflect on my experience in college during the Vietnam War era.
Just so they know, it's Alex is telling about reflecting on astrology during his time in college during the Vietnam War.
Right, and I was in a drama group where we did a dance skit to Age of Aquarius.
Oh, right. What, were you naked? You
Not
said Age of
quite.
Aquarius. They did. Was it hair? Did you do hair?
It was the
Okay.
K Street Mall. in
Okay.
Sacramento.
You couldn't
But-
be naked there. Yes.
But I did get a chance to see the play Hair.
Okay.
That
Okay.
was-
Yeah, we're talking about the play Hair in the Age of Aquarius. Astrology, yes, it can trigger that
Yeah,
memory of
so,
these things.
Yeah, and the song talks about when Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will
Guide
lead
the planet, right? And
and
love will
all-
steer the stars. We
stars,
got to know the
exactly.
lyrics here, right?
So when is the Age of Aquarius?
Oh, you ask such hard questions. I wish I knew. Nobody seems to know, and it's a little imprecise. We could talk for hours about astrology. It's changing over time. Where the planets are is actually moving. The Earth moves. Nobody's even sure anymore. The ages are not defined really precisely. But I would have to say, based on experience, something is definitely happening. You can see it in the world. What I think is happening is the old world is going through its paroxysms of final dying. In my dream, the Victorian house that's rotting and falling apart, and I'm like, it could fall at any minute. And then the new house is still being built. We're building the new house. So you can tell. I would say go by your inner guidance first, and then look for the signs. So I have to say the astrology is extraordinary, and I can feel it energetically in myself. I can feel something is changing when I wake up in the morning and I'm lying in bed, and in my inner vision I can see flecks of gold, silver, and platinum light descending into my energy field. And I feel restored. It's like integration's happening at night. Those dreams that I'm having, I'm sure I'm really meeting guides, and I'm talking to other souls that are doing work. So I am feeling it. And that's why I'm here talking today, is that I had to go through a long journey of soul transformation. I had to overcome a lot of trauma and a lot of fear of showing myself, but now I'm out in public. I'm going to just say who I am, what I do, so that I can encourage other people to do the same. So this is your time, and you really have everything you need supporting you. And if you do need assistance from me as a shaman, I do one-on-one work. On the flyer, you can call me to ask about that. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm giving 20% off all of my services to anybody who's here today. I have sessions of different lengths, 30 minutes, an hour, and the full session is usually 90 minutes. But I have had clients go as long as 3 hours with me, and I don't care how long it takes. That particular case was very complicated, the 3-hour one. We started to do one set of tasks, we did them, and suddenly I see a clown in my inner vision, a clown, full face paint, like I say out loud to the client, there's a clown here. And the client says, oh, the clown. And I go, you know this clown? It was hilarious. I'm like, you know the clown? And he says, I've been having a recurring nightmare since I was 5 years old. And this guy was 35, so 30 years. I said, how does the dream go? He says, I'm being chased by a clown in a warehouse, and he has a knife. And I go, okay, have you ever died in this dream? He goes, no, but there's been a few times where I'm lying on the ground and I feel my life running out of me. I'm like, yeah, I think you died in that dream. So we did a soul retrieval. I said, okay, this is coming up. We've already been working for 2 hours. Do you want to go for it? And he said, yes. So we did a soul retrieval. We figured out what had happened. It's a long story. It's fascinating. I'm going to share it on YouTube at some point. We resolved it, and he never had the dream again. So that's the kind of work. I love my job, and I love working with people and helping them get unstuck. So I'm offering this to anybody here that wants to explore. Just call, set up an appointment. We could talk for 15 minutes. There's no obligation. And if you discover, if you just want to chat with me, I'm okay with that, actually. If you just want to ask questions you didn't get to ask today. I also do home, land, and business clearing. So I move on dead people, and I do energetic repair of places. And I have many stories I could tell you, including the haunted Airbnb that I had to fix where we were staying, and the dead lady who was there for about 100 years, I could tell, and had been murdered, moving her on. So I come and I help people who have problems at their house, people that basically have ghosts that are disturbed. And I have an apprentice program. I have people who've been between the ages of 16 and 83, have worked with me, 6-month period. We go in depth. They develop a shamanic toolkit. They learn how to do the work. You do not have to want to be a shaman. You may just want a personal shamanic toolkit. Some of my apprentices, though, have gone on to be professional practicing shamans. So I'm proud of what I have done, and I'm really proud to share it today. Any final questions from anybody?